Okay, this video is going to show you how to do basic shape 7. So we're going to look right here. One of the things that we're going to do is we're adding in some circles, and we have a new tool that we're going to use called the fillet. And so what we're going to do is think of this as we're going to do a break apart our rectangle, then add a circle at the top, and the rest of it, we'll do the same thing here. So we're going to go in, I'll show you kind of how we're going to break this part up to make it super easy. I'm going to go from the top, so I'm going to hide my front and my right. Hide my front and my right. I'm going to add a sketch, click the sketch on the top, and to normalize it. Now the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add in my rectangle. And so what I'm going to do here, if you see this, is I'm going to break this part in this rectangle. So there starts to be a circle right about, this is where the circle starts. So from here back, I'm just going to make that rectangle. So that rectangle is 4 by 3.5. Okay, so what I'm going to do is create that rectangle, and then we're going to start to add it onto it. So I'm going to grab my rectangle, drop it in here. Oh, I didn't change my units. Let's get rid of that. Let's undo that. Change my units to inches. There it is. Now I'm going to do my sketching and go back into my sketch, add my rectangle. Much better. So now I'm going to dimension this out. So this one, my length is going to be 4 inches. My width is going to be 3.5 inches. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to put a circle right here on the front to get the front edge of it. So if I've got this, I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. I'm going to add a circle. And just like we've done with some of our other circles, I'm going to find that center point. So I'm going to run right along this edge. There's my center point. I'm going to click. And all I have to do, I don't have to measure this out. I'm just going to drag it to the point at the bottom, which is going to give me my shape at the bottom. So now I've got everything. So now I'm going to finish this. I'm going to hit my extrusion. I'm going to extrude both parts of it. So I've got all the parts of it. And this first piece on this part is going to be a 1-inch extrusion. So I'm going to extrude it 1 inch, and there it is. So there's my first part that we've got. Okay. I'm going to hide my top plane here. Now I'm just going to go ahead and do the easy part for next. I'm going to add my piece on the bottom. This looks like it's a 1-inch square that goes right at the back on the bottom of it, runs the length of it. So that should be pretty easy, comes down 1 inch. So I'm going to go back in. I'm going to rotate this around, and I'm going to add a sketch on the bottom, add a sketch on the bottom. I'm going to hit this so I can see normalized here. And what I'm going to do is add my rectangle, start at the back corner. I'm going to go over 1 inch. What I want to do is I'm just going to get this, it's going to go all the way down across here. And I'm going to dimension it out here in just a second. So I make sure it goes from end to end. I'm going to dimension the width of it here. So this is going to be 1 inch width. I'm going to finish it out. Then I'm going to extrude. And I'm going to rotate my view here just a little bit, and it already comes out 1 inch. I'm doing it as add, and there it is. So there's my back end of it. So now I've got 1 inch added on at the back that came down. So now what we need to do is I need to add I'm going to add my circle at the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate this around to see the back. This is the exact same thing that we did before. So if I look at this, or not how we added our circles in there. So if I look at this shape, I can see that this is, so I'm going to go to where the circle's a half. So I'm going to come up 1 inch, and then I'm going to put a circle on top of that. So it's going to be a rectangle. It's going to be 1/2 inch, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5. Okay, so let's do this. So I'm going to go back in. I'm on the back side here. I'm going to add a sketch on the back. I'm going to add my rectangle. I'm going to start right at this edge. I'm going to come up and over. So it is going to be, I'm going to dimension this out. This line is going to be 2.5. And my height that it's going to come up is going to be 1 inch. So I'm going to make that 1 inch high. So this is going to be here, is going to be 1 inch high. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude that through. So I'm going to finish this. I'm going to hit my extrusion, and I'm going to change the direction of the extrusion and pull this extrusion all the way across. And I can either measure it, I can go right to the edge to make sure that I've got it. I went just a little bit too far, so I'm just going to make it 3.5 so I know that it's exact. And I'm adding to it. There's my, oh, that's too much. I don't want to go that far across. I don't know what I was thinking. It's only going to go across 1 inch. So I'm going to change this to go 1 inch across because it doesn't go the whole length. We're only going 1 inch across. There it is. So I'm going to hit to finish it. And there's our top part here. So now on this back piece, I'm going to add my circle, sketch here, circle, put it in my center point. There it is. Put it on there. So I go from edge to edge. Then I'm going to extrude this, extrude, change the direction. It goes out 1 inch. I hit OK. So there's my shape. So now I've got my 2 shapes on here. Now what we're looking for across the top, you're going to find this is the fillet tool. And so what we're going to do is this is going to create a rounding of our corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that fillet and I'm going to rotate around. And what I want to do is I want to choose just this line here and we're going to make it a 0.5. So 0.5 inch, which is going to be what our fillet is. And so you see what that does, that rounds out that shape there. So we've got a nice round shape to our model there. And then the last thing we have to do is we're going to put our hole in, which looks like it's a 1/2 inch. And that hole needs to be, so that looks like, so that looks like it's about, so it's a 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch here, 1/2 inch here. So it's a 1 inch hole, 1 inch hole that is 1/2 inch, 1.5 to center from either side, 1.5 inches to center. So I'm going to add a 1 inch hole at the top. So I'm going to check mark my fillet there and add a sketch on top, add a circle, put the circle in here. I'm going to dimension everything out, dimension this to be a 1 inch circle. Then I'm going to dimension from here to the center should be 1.5. And then from here to the center should be 1.5. There it is. And so then what I'm going to do is extrude my hole through, change the direction, change to remove, pull it down. There it is. There is shape number 7 is done and in the books.